Hey guys, and welcome to my first guide video for Cloud Pirates. In this video we're going to be taking a look at one of the first ships you're going to be able to wreak havoc in the sky with, and that is the tier 1 ship in the Cania tree, the Thunder. Now the Thunder is really the introduction to light ships in general in Cloud Pirates, showcasing some of the mechanics and traits that these ships come with. You will immediately notice that you are a lot smaller and a lot faster than anything else at your tier, meaning you can zip around the battlefield quickly, dipping in and out of terrain using your maneuverability to your advantage. Basically, you're just avoiding taking shots as much as possible. As you can imagine, this will also mean you are pretty squishy. In fact, no, you are really squishy. One of the traits of the light ships is that you're going to have vastly fewer hit points as well, but you will gain damage reduction based on the speed that you are currently travelling. So with all these traits, you can see that you really don't want to be putting yourself too much in the line of fire. However, if you are, you're going to need to keep your speed up and use your maneuverability to make yourself as hard to hit as you possibly can. This is something that is true of all light ships in the game, so if you learn this while flying the Thunder, you are going to be in good stead for the rest of the light ships. But the Thunder also has a role in the game, much like the ships it leads onto, the Glint, Lightning and Meteor, and that is as a very high damage torpedo ship. It puts out a huge chunk of damage in a single volley of its torpedoes. As you can see in the footage in the background, the ship is all about those main frontal guns and knowing where to deploy them. Yes, you can deploy them on literally anything, a full health rock or a gale or something, but picking your targets and dropping your torps on them is going to be way more beneficial to your team than removing a portion of a battleship's health. The way I would recommend playing the Thunder right now is by picking off important support ships, which is going to be of huge use to your team. Support in Cloud Pirates is amazingly good right now and insanely strong. The more time that a support ship is on the field, the more effect it can have on a fight, potentially turning it against you. However, if you focus down healers, other supports and squishy damage dealers, you can give your team a much easier time. Always take down the healers first, the Victorias. Those things, whilst not as crazy as other healers, they're still healers and need to be removed from the field as soon as you see them. If you do that well, you will frustrate their healers into either staying away from the fight a bit, or they make mistakes, so focusing them down as soon as you spot them is something you should always do. Honestly, this is a good thing to remember throughout the game, no matter what you're flying. Healers should never be left alone, because you are going to regret that rather quickly. Next would be something like the Hammer, because once again, it has the ability to heal their team. Plus, it actually has a pretty reasonable damage output, so removing them from the field is something I would really do as soon as you can. Although with them being medium ships, it's going to take a couple of runs of torpedoes to actually take them down. After this, you should really go for the softer damage dealers. Most often, it's going to be something like their Vigilant. A single torpedo run, then a couple of broadsides, and you'll have these down in no time. They have a very good damage output, but they are pretty squishy, so you're going to have no problems keeping these guys off the field. If you find the field is clear of all these ships, then I would recommend just getting your torps away into something else. Gales, rocks, other Thunders, just supporting your team in taking down whatever's left. That big amount of damage in one go can make a huge difference in the middle of a fight. You can beat heals, you've got self-restoration some of these ships have, that sort of thing. So it's worth putting that damage into a target that your team are already shooting. So the way I personally build my Thunder is with the peak heavy cannons on the front. The reason for this is that if you use them properly, you get the double shot. So rather than being a one-hit wonder like the duplicate cannons are, you can correct your second shot if you need to. You can also choose whether to fire 1 or 2 pairs of torpedoes, meaning that you don't waste time reloading when you don't necessarily need to, or cooling down even. If you see 2 ships and both are 1 shots for your torps, you can fire 1 set at one of them and 1 set at the other, rather than the duplicate where you can only fire 1 set. The broadside cannons really are going to be personal preference, since you don't use them that often really beyond finishing off a damaged target, or trying to force off other light support like other Thunders. I personally like the link guns because of the additional damage that it puts out. It really helps when you're trying to finish off the larger ships like Hammers or Vigilants, so that's honestly my choice for broadsides. Modules, however, are a little bit more tricky. I personally run the Cloak and then the Heal. The Cloak has helped me out so much I would never ever consider taking it off. Being able to sneak up on a target and hit them when they're not expecting it has got me so many kills it's unreal, especially on unsuspecting healers. Also, the ability to duck behind cover, cloak and then change direction to throw anyone off that is chasing you is incredible, and has saved me many times. I'm never taking this off personally. Just remember, when you're trying to use this cloak, if you do get hit by enemy fire, it will turn the cloak off, so you will no longer be invisible to them. Also, if you get too close, you will be sort of partially revealed as well. So that is also something that you've got to remember when you're trying to go for your torpedo runs on your healers. The second ability though is going to be down to really to the way you play. I use the heal myself because of the amount of times I've taken damage, and basically because I've been sat in the fight far too long, I've just taken too much damage. So being able to bail and heal up after the fight before re-engaging is so useful, so helpful. Either that or mid-fight just popping a quick heal can mean the difference between winning and losing that fight. 25% of your H back instantly, and another 50% back over the next 7 seconds is a huge deal, and something I really like. I do sometimes switch it out for the pulsar though. Most of my deaths in the Thunder come from either overextending and getting involved with far too much, or another Thunder with a pulsar. The pulsar reduces maneuverability by 70% for 7 seconds, which in the Thunder can be enough to end you, especially if that other Thunder decides to follow up on pulsar with his own torps. So if you are wanting to take down enemy lights more efficiently, so other Thunders, the Victorias, then pulsar can be a really nice addition to your loadout. The final module is acceleration, which will basically make you accelerate faster and have a faster top speed. I don't use this one myself, but with the lack of mobility options at this tier, it could be useful for hit and run tactics. Drop your torpedoes, hit acceleration, and then burn out of there, taking advantage of the extra damage reduction you're going to get from the higher top speed. It doesn't suit my personal playstyle, but it is going to suit some more than others. Honestly though, if you focus down the targets like I mentioned earlier in that order, know when you got to engage, when to flee, you can't go wrong with the Thunder. The one big thing you have to worry about and watch out for are the slows from the trainee or the Gale, or the auto-tracking guns from the trainee as well. If you get hit by those slow torpedoes from either the trainee or the Gale, it's pretty much game over. You're going to instantly evaporate if that happens, much in the same way as if you get your engine disabled, just because of your seriously low hit points. Keep moving, keep dodging, make yourself hard to hit, and don't be too afraid to get stuck in. I've seen many Thunders too worried about things and not getting involved in a fight. You are small enough and hard enough to hit for the most part that enemies are just going to shoot larger ships before they try and take you down. So drop those torps, use those broadsides, and then just bail if you've attracted too much attention. The Thunder is a properly fun little ship and will prepare you for the light ships to come in the future. Play this right and you can be an asset to your team as well as having a blast. This was the first ship I actually ever tried on Cloud Pirates, and recording the footage for this, let's put it this way, this video is 8 hours later than I wanted, just because I couldn't stop playing it. So I hope that this guide to the Thunder has been useful, and that you can get some fun and some use out of it. I'll have guides on other starter ships coming soon enough, but for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.